Hello everybody, welcome back to Huddersfield Town Fan TV for another video. And in today's video I am going to be talking about the new favourite that has emerged in Ruben to become our next manager. Yes indeed. But first, I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. And yes, apologies for getting this video out a bit later than planned. Been quite busy today. So yes, only getting around to record it right now. So it'll probably be with you tonight by the time I've edited everything. But yes, make sure to drop a like, subscribe and comment your thoughts down below on this potential managerial appointment of Ruben Sellers. Would you be happy with this appointment? Let me know down below in the comment section. Thank you. Let's get into the video then without further ado. So look, obviously, as I was saying, Ruben Sellers has become the favourite to become our next manager after being sacked at Hull City last Thursday, wasn't it? I'm going to be reacting to this news. I'm going to be sharing my opinions on this potential appointment a bit later on. But first of all, I just want to kind of take you through Ruben's kind of coaching journey, just to give a bit of a, for anyone that doesn't know, a bit of more of a clear reminder of his path to where he's got to today. So yes, he started as assistant manager to various clubs initially, learning his trade, you know what I mean, at various clubs across Europe. Before becoming Valencia's under-18 coach, he's done a bit of youth football as well, youth coaching football as well. He became the first team coach for their under-18s at Valencia. Before then becoming assistant manager at FC Copenhagen. And then he decided to come to England. He came to Southampton as assistant manager initially. Became caretaker manager further down the line for the first team in 2 separate spells, before being given the job permanently until the end of that season, and then Southampton decided not to keep him on. After that though, his last 2 roles obviously have been at Reading, where, as we know, despite the points deductions, transfer embargoes and failed takeovers, Sellers led the club into the playoff positions under his tenure, before he left for Hull City in December last year. So yes, he's had an eventful year, hasn't he, really? And yes, one that he's probably learned a lot from. But obviously, when he did arrive at Hull, the club were very much struggling in the Championship, so badly, obviously in the relegation zone. But whilst he struggled for consistency at the MKM Stadium, he did keep them up on the final day. Look, staying up was the aim for them after the terrible start they'd made to the season before Ruben came in, and he did achieve that goal. But last week he got sacked by the Hull owner. A very harsh decision, in my opinion. But maybe, even if it is a harsh decision, maybe it'll come to our advantage if we manage to get this guy in. But yeah, very harsh to sack him when he's achieved the goal. And plus, he'd come in mid-season. You know what I mean? He didn't have, just imagine what he can do with a full pre-season and, getting some players in that he wants. So for me, I think it was a poor decision by Hull. But again, it is a positive for a club out there that wants a manager. Hopefully it is us, because like I say, he's got so much credentials. And as I was already saying, he will have lots of offers. Make no 2 ways about it. This summer, he will have lots of offers from different clubs who need a manager, because he is a very good coach. So we need to move quickly for this guy, who again proved he can handle the relentless nature of League One football. But yes, that's kind of a bit of a background story about him, really, because I think that's kind of important, because maybe some people aren't aware of his coaching journey. So I think it's kind of quite interesting. Well, I find it interesting, kind of researching how coaches have got to where they have. So yeah, did my research, and yeah, hopefully you guys found that interesting. But look, my reaction to the news then of this, of him becoming favourite. For me, I think you probably already can tell, I really like Ruben Sellers. I think he's a really good manager, and I would love him to become our next manager. And he has become my number one choice now, as David Wagner clearly has ruled himself out of the running. So yeah, it's not going to happen, that is it. So, but look, for me, I think Ruben is a very good coach. He's proven what he can do at this level with Reading, and that is alongside all the issues I've already mentioned that he faced off the field as well, with all the ownership issues and administration fears. But the key is he knows the league already. That's a massive plus for us guys. If we can get this guy in, he knows the league already. He doesn't need to adjust. He doesn't need to settle in. He knows the league, and look, he's held his own at this level, as I've already said. So for me, it's a big plus that experience. He's bided his time. You know what I mean? He's learned his trade as assistant coach, learning off the coaches that he's been with, and I think that's really important, because sometimes I think coaches can kind of rush into first team management, and then it doesn't work out for them. But if you do it this way, where you kind of learn as an assistant, and as you go along, get various roles and assistant coach roles, I think that really helps managers to really build that foundation and just experience different things, different things, but also just still having a part to play, obviously, as an assistant, but not as first team coach. I think I'm waffling on now, but you get what I'm trying to say, don't you guys? You know what I mean? I do think that being an assistant, you can kind of learn so much in that role. And yeah, he's biding his time. Then he's got his chance with a few of as first team coach the last few years, and yeah, he's I just really rate this guy, honestly. So look, he's experienced, and for me, if you look at the way he sets out his teams as well, I like the way he sets out his teams. Not gonna lie, he makes his team defensively solid first and foremost, which is crucial, in my opinion. Football, the football is the foundations are starting from the back. And if you can keep that defense solid, you give yourself every chance to win a lot of football matches in a season if you've got that solid defensive foundation in there. So yeah, and still though, it gives the players the freedom to then attack, go forward, express themselves. And I also think his man management is also fantastic. So there's so many qualities here, guys, that I just really like about him. Look, obviously Ruben, 41 years of age, from Spain as well. We've already had a very good coach from Spain, as we all know, in Carlos Corberán, when he we're not going to get back to that playoff final, but he took us to the brink of going back to the Premier League, only to be robbed at the final hurdle by the officiating. But we're not going to get into that. But yeah, so yeah, another I really like Spanish coaches. I think they've just got something about them. You know what I mean? And I just feel I would be excited with this appointment, and that's what you want as a fan, to be excited about, having a manager that you feel like you can really get behind. And I also like his character, his personality. We've talked about this in the past. Yes, we want the coach to be very good at what he does, but you need to have a bit of personality. You need to have a bit of character. You know what I mean? You need to be able to connect with the fans easily. And he's not a divisive figure. He's very straight talking. You know what I mean? And he's a likable guy. You know what I mean? So look, I think we as Town fans will get on with him just fine, as long as the results come, of course. But I think as a person, we'll like him, which we've not really said about maybe our past managers. That our past managers have been very hot and cold with fans. You know what I mean? Not really took to quite a few of the last few managers we've had, have we really? So yeah, it'd be nice to have somebody that we can feel like we can connect with and have that kind of good feeling, towards, you know what I mean, if that makes sense. So yes, guys, that is my reaction to the news. Please, Mr. Nagel, start, really, I really hope that you've made contact with Ruben Selles, and I really hope you get him in, because this guy, for me, I think he can take you places. And the fact is, we know the owner will back the manager. Therefore, Ruben will have money to work with. I just feel excited about the appointment. If we can, I do believe that, you know what I mean. So for me, please, Nagel, we need to start getting a manager in now. We've been waiting. It's just time's just going on and on. We haven't got time to be wasting. So let's hope and pray that he does get this guy in, because he is a manager that I think will do very well here, if he is given the foundations to do well, of course, and a sporting director that he can work under. If that, because we have to presume that we are getting a sporting director. I've said I don't think necessarily it's that important at this level, but we have to presume we are getting one in, because nothing has been communicated otherwise. But let's hope we can get a sporting director in who can, build that relationship with him, and also work well with him, and allow him to get the players he wants ultimately, as the manager. So yeah, let's wait. Maybe I'm getting overexcited about this, but I am a big fan of Ruben Selles, and I do think the way he works, everything that I've already said, the way he sets out his teams, everything. I just think it just fits. It just fits us so well, and it would really be exciting to get him in, but we'll have to wait and see. But he is the favourite to become our next manager. We will see what happens over the coming days, but I do want to hear some news over the next coming days, because I don't want another week where we hear nothing. We need to appoint a manager, and we need a sporting director in ASAP. So time's ticking. Anyways, guys, make sure you do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let me know your thoughts down below on this potential appointment. I'd love to hear what you guys think as well, but I just really feel positive and optimistic for the future if we get this guy in and we get a good sporting director in. So, but it's always a big if. That's the problem. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. But guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for some more Huddersfield Town content. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you all on the next one.